Greetings, dear all. Welcome to Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow podcast. Here, remember, we always tell you that we are the connecting link between the world yesterday and the world tomorrow. And today, here's another episode. We are talking about matters of love, matters of the family, matters of family finance. And to discuss in studio today, I have the Mapipos. Welcome to the podcast. It's amazing to see you here.
We are glad to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. How was your day?
That was good. It has been fine so far.
Yeah.
Okay. The tradition here is that as we begin the conversation, I have this, I don't know if I should call it a plate or a bowl, I don't know how to call this one, but it contains some papers in here. So I'll give it to you. Each of you pick 5. Yes. Then you'll be reading what is on the paper. When you read, you respond. Again, it will be a stand. Then until all the questions are exhausted. So you'll be asking each other.
Okay.
Yes. So I'll give it to you, sir. Then pick 5. She'll also pick 5. Yes. Pick 5. Choose 5. Okay. Careful, you might.
I think 3 here already. This is 1, huh? Okay.
Yeah,
That's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's the next one.
So,
And I don't know who begins, but ladies first. Okay. Then I'll be listening.
Okay. If you had to pick a song to describe our relationship, what would it be?
Wow. Okay. Ish. A song. I'll just say there's a song, I don't know who the singer is, but it said the one he kept for me.
Mm.
I think that comes close to describing what I think God chose better than I would for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Oh, that's me now. Sorry. Okay. I'm still trying to get out of the game. Question is, what is something I do that always makes you smile, no matter the situation? Tell me. You got the question? Okay.
What is something that you do that makes me smile?
No matter the situation.
You have this sense of humor. The jokes that you crack.
Okay. So I'm a clown. That's what she's saying.
So there's a way that you joke where no matter what, actually I won't smile, but I'll actually laugh. There's a way you crack your jokes.
Okay. Maybe I should get into stand-up comedy.
Yes.
Is you now?
Yes. Next question is, if we could relive one moment from our relationship, what would it be and why?
Isn't this a PG-13 interview? Okay.
You see?
I'm just asking because I think one of the I'll go back to my graduation in 2021. I think that experience for me was, it's like you are used to being in the same environment, then you go to a different environment, like you're just at a different place. I'm like, wow, so there's this side of her, there's this side of me. So I would love to have more Dubais and such things. Yeah, we have. Yeah, that's the one. So the second question is, what question is this? What's the funniest misunderstanding we've ever had? You guys really research, huh? That's your question. I'm glad I'm not the one answering that. Yeah.
The funniest misunderstanding. There's no pass in this session. I must answer. Funniest misunderstanding.
Sorry.
Can I think of one?
Mm.
You've thought of one?
I'm trying to think also.
That's it.
I think so.
That's it,
I hope I'll come back to it.
Okay.
Yeah, let me think. In what ways do you think we balance each other out as partners?
There's so many ways. For me, I think I do note that some of my weak areas are your strengths. For example, I don't easily trust people. When I just meet you, I don't. She trusts that I'm thinking, say, how do you trust someone like that? She's very trusting. You need to give her a reason to not trust you. You need to give me a reason to trust you. So that gives us a balance. And things like, for example, even just when it comes to strengths intellectually, she's very mathematical. She's arithmetic driven. I'm more of a philosopher, the deep thinking of, what would this, that kind of, I love things of that nature. She loves that. So even in business, as you go, you find that she's the one, she's the numbers person. She holds that the strategy, think this, risk, compliance, that kind of stuff, those things that, So there's so many, I could go on, there's so many ways that I see that I am weak in this area, she's strong in that area. For example, even if you owed me money, chances are you won't see me, you'll see her. Because I've got no time to start coming. I don't have the energy to be following up on. She does. She does. So I said, go there. So we complement each other in so many ways.
Wow, amazing.
Yeah. The other question is, when did you know I was the one for you? Very interesting. This one I want to hear.
I think when we started having Bible studies, that's the moment I knew. And mainly it was led by people's comments, because they would see us spending time together. For me, it was a Bible study or this brother from church.
Brothers, Bible studies are important.
And then people would see more than brotherhood and sisterhood.
Yeah.
And then now they started planting ideas in me. So this is actually not just a brother from church. So when we started having the Bible studies, that's when I saw that you are the one for me.
Interesting. The question, this other one is, how have I changed you or your life for the better?
Me, right?
Oh my goodness. It's you. Okay. You see? Okay, go on. Go on.
What's one thing about me you hope never changes? What's one thing about me you hope never changes?
The one that comes top of mind is you are very, I think, forgiving. She doesn't hold a grudge for like she wants to deal with the issue. She won't bury it. She wants it dealt with. Then after, in fact, she wants to do it when you are like, can we do? No. She wants to deal with it then. But once it's dealt with, she moves on. So next time you meet her, she can have an altercation. Now you go thinking, next time I see, I don't think she'll talk to me. You'll be shocked that you meet her and she's greeting you like, for her it's done because you sorted it out. That's the So I hope that never changes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes. So the question I was almost asking before is, how have I changed you or your life for the better since we met?
You are very principled. Not that I'm not principled, but there's a strength that you come with. And sometimes, and most times, I must say, it helps me to remain
steadfast.
Yes, it helps me to remain steadfast. So in short, my weakness, I find strength in you in my weakness. Yes.
All right. I see.
It's me.
I was about to read again.
What's something you admire about me that you don't often say out loud?
But I think I say it. I say it. Something I admire about you. Is it physically, mentally? You know, I'm buying time when I'm asking. I'm trying to. Yeah, I'm trying to. Okay. For me, yeah, very beautiful. For me, when the first time I saw her, the first time I saw her in church. You know, I've been going to this church for a while. Then I had not. I mean, I've seen people, but then first day I saw her, I was like, "Who is that?" Because I'd never seen her before, and she was in front with a brother who's now late. I'm like, "Who is that?" Then I didn't see her again until it was a camp meeting somewhere. Then I saw her. Oh, that girl. Then from there, next I saw among the baptism candidates, and then at the class, she asked the question, and I realized that she needs Bible study because from what she's asking me, she needs Bible study. And yeah, so for me, I think her personality, your personality, and the beauty for me, yeah. Beauty is not just the heart, the beauty. So I don't see the heart. Yeah. Yeah. Then my last question here is, what's your favorite memory of us together?
You already mentioned, I think the second favorite is he had promised me that he would take me to Cape Town. It was a beautiful experience. Yeah, it was everything we planned worked out as we planned, except the weather just changed on one day and we couldn't go up to the Table Mountain. But we still went up, just not right to the top. It was very beautiful. Yeah, I'll never forget that.
Wow.
Thank God.
We are done.
Questions are done. Questions are done. Questions are done.
Young people out there are asking.
Yes, sir.
One who opted to remain anonymous says, "Hey, Mr. Mapipos, is it okay to get into debt financing a wedding? Explain why."
Is it okay to get into debt to finance a wedding?
Yes.
That is that's a big no-no. It's a very big. In my world, that should not even be a question because you this is a one-day event, and then you want to start off your marriage, your union, with as little burdens as possible in terms of finances, because already even the wedding itself, for me, as I grow older, I'm thinking, of course I'm married now and I hope not to have another wedding ever, but then I think it's something that society sometimes over exaggerates. You can have a modest, I'm seeing more and more young couples today having very modest type of weddings. You have these people with means go to civic center, beautiful family photo pictures elsewhere, then they have a family come together kind of in a marquee or somewhere, and lunch, and it's done. There's no reception, kind of, it's the same theatrics. So why borrow money to start your married life with debt? If you would allow me to give an example for ourselves, which when we were getting married, she comes from a very big family, and I mean very big family. And I think left to themselves would have had a very big newspaper kind of wedding. But we said we want something small. We were thought smaller. They said, okay, small for their vision was this level, and we adjusted to them. But guess what? We said our budget was this. You want to go that big, you finance that portion. Our budget is this. And when we got married in February 2014, we didn't get any debt. We worked with what we had, to the extent that come May, 3 months later from our wedding, we started building the house we live in today. The same people in the first year of their marriage rarely can afford those things, because they are now paying for the people who got suits, busy paying. We went on to start constructing and doing other things because we had planned for it and did not burn the bank just to make a statement. So debt financing is a non-starter. Any young man thinking of such is really setting himself on a path to future financial hardship.
Thank you so much. This question is from Tessa. She says, "Hi, Mom. My name is Tessa. My question is, how did you progress to marriage with Mr. Mapipos? What did you see for you to agree to marry him?" So Tessa is asking.
Okay. That's an interesting question. I think we touched a bit on that during our for me, what amazed me most about him was how he was able to expound the Bible. I had so many questions.
Yeah.
I had so many questions. And from the Bible, he was able to answer. Even just when you're having conversations, he was there. I can count in probably one hand the number of times where he failed to answer a question, and he would tell you, let me research on that one, I'll get back to you. But more often than not, the Bible says this, or this comes from, or just morally, what do you think this? So it's the way that he knew his Bible and how principled, like I mentioned earlier. For him, A is A and B is B. It never changes. Just like the sun rises from the east and sets in the west, it doesn't matter if it's cold that day, it will still be east to west. It's never west to east. So it's how straight he was, how principled, and how he knew his Bible. That, for me, I said, if I am to get married, I remember I had posted a post once on my Facebook to say, if your man is playing with the devil, then just know who your father-in-law is. So for me, he was playing with God. So my father-in-law is God. So I knew I would have no problems, or very few problems, because this is a man who is grounded in the word of God.
Lovely. Another young man is asking, he's like, hey, Mr. Mapipos,
yes,
is it okay as a man to have a side pocket that your wife doesn't know about?
Okay, that one I think needs to be requires a bit of explaining to understand. I know in circles of men, they would say you need to have a Zamtroop account, one that nobody is aware of. But I understand the reason, and this is where maybe I will answer it this way. Transparency in finances is very important, as in all aspects in a relationship like marriage. It's very important. However, that said, a man needs to have this mindset that he is the provider. So what I mean is, you could give us 10,000 right now, 10,000 kwacha, and we split 5,000 I give her, 5,000 I keep, and I tell her, this is how I'm going to spend this 5,000. She will see that, oh, I've spent this 5,000 according to the way I said it. Then something else comes up, she'll come to me and say, there's pressure for this thing. She expects me to have money because I'm the man. So if I don't have that mindset of saying, I need to give, and if it's just in a jacket I don't wear so much, I just have some money for a rainy day, which I know, not that I am hiding it deliberately from her, but I've kept it to say, this one might come in handy, because she'll come to me and say, we don't have shoe, we don't have this. And she's just expecting you, the man, make a plan. So you need to have a backup in short. So I understand what he means. I would say yes, in that you can make that, I'm coming from the world of risk management, insurance. You always need to have a contingency plan. And that, not a secret, but a contingency plan where you have money that is not hidden to finance a hidden lifestyle, no, but for the welfare of the family. And even she will actually commend you to say, here's a plan, because I thought he had used his last coin, but thank God he had some money, which after she will be happy to hear that. So that's what I would answer it that way, in that it is not being secretive or not being transparent, but have a contingency plan should things fail to you come to between a rock and a hard place. You can still fall back to say there's this money. Otherwise, if she knows it's there, you use it for vegetables. To just say that one you put, just buy vegetables. When that's not the reason you put it. Yeah.
For sure.
Amazing. Another one here, this one is a lady also, and she was asking you, saying, how have you managed to handle each other's personality? This one is Peggy, so she's saying, you having a man who's coming from a different background, you from a different background, but then how have you just been able to grapple with the differences that you have in terms of personality?
Okay. I think the first thing that you need to do is to accept him and accept that he is a different personality. He is a different person. If you don't accept him, then you'll try to change him. And if you try to change him, you'll be very frustrated, because in history, I'm yet to meet a woman who has changed a man. I'm yet to meet, yes. A man by nature is a man, and he will lose his masculinity if you try to change him. If a man is a shadow of a woman, then he has just toned down and you not benefit much from him. But if I accept him, he has weaknesses. He's human. He has weaknesses. I accept those weaknesses and I learn to navigate around them. That is the first, I think that's the first rule. The second one is sieve what you hear. There are people out there who won't accept your man. They will have a problem with his personality. If you do not sieve that, it becomes a problem in your home. Because now you want to change him because you want to suit, or you maybe see sense in what they are saying. That is bringing a problem in your own home. And I always tell him that I would rather not talk to someone I don't live with, because I don't see you every day, than that person who I don't live with causing problems with the person I live with. Because you'd have left and then I have remained with this person I'm spending 24 hours with, and we are not in a good relationship. It's better I'm not in a good relationship with someone out there, because I don't have to tell you food is ready. We won't bump into each other in the corridor. When I see you, probably you'd have cooled off. So I don't allow outsiders to bring problems in my marriage, because I spend a lot of time with him and I would rather be happy with him than someone out there.
Wow. We've dedicated this conversation to talk about business, finance around, especially couples. I want to understand that you do business. How did you just decide to venture into business and the kind of business that you're doing? What inspired it?
Okay. The business we do, it's basically centered around health food. It's trying to promote healthy living through eating health food. So this stems from our own personal journey background. Like I mentioned earlier before the session began, we are vegetarians. So that background, we had a bit of experience in terms of we noticed a gap. There are things that our friends in the diaspora, or just even as near as South Africa here, they had products and things that we did not even hear of in Zambia. So we thought there's really an opportunity. There's a gap here. There are people imagine vegetarianism to be beans, soya chunks, and cabbage. So we said this it goes beyond that. So we thought if we could increase in fact our statement has always been to say increasing access to health food. So when it was born out of personal conviction and a personal experience, a journey we had ourselves, and which we are still on. And from there, that's how and it started like a hobby. She's a banker, worked 10 years in an international bank. I'm an insurance guy, worked over 20 years in insurance. And it was during the time when our careers are still at their peak. We're still, there's no reason for us to start that business at that time. But now we see that it was good. Because it was just, we'd bring these products, she would go with those products in her car, boot sales. I would also have some I was driving a BMW then, I was a young man. In my back of my BMW, I take it to the office and I'm saying, guys, we've got these things, milkshakes and everything. There was no reason whatsoever, but it was a passion for us to say. It wasn't even added for the longest time. It never gave us a coin, no money whatsoever. But it was a passion. Because we're like, we are increasing people who are on this kind of diet can have access to these things here in Zambia. And that's how we started that. Now it's something that is taking care of us.
Are you now full-time into it, or you work but also full-time into it? I would want to ask, when I usually young people, and even anyone else would have a dream of you're working, but I just want to work so that I should establish a business. But then, what are the telltale signs that should tell somebody that now I think I can leave the corporate world and get into business? When is it right to just, put your whole attention into the business and leave the corporate world?
So you'd have already started that business, and when it is able to pay the workers, so since you are working, it means that there's somebody you've employed to do that.
Yeah.
So when the business is able to sustain itself and you're able to save and still restock, at that point, I think you can venture into it. Also, you need to look at your monthly expenses. If you factor in your monthly expenses, because you're stopping to work, you need sustenance. If you're going to factor in that and it won't stress the business, then you can stop. So in that case, that your savings should be equal to your monthly expenses. Then you know that if we stop saving, the business is able to sustain itself and pay itself and still pay me. Wow. But if you factor in your salary and you're not going to be making much, you are not yet ready.
And also, just to add to that, maybe a caveat there for, I know there's this excitement about entrepreneurship. Now everybody just wakes up and says, I want to be an entrepreneur. Yeah. For us, we'll be quick to tell you that we did start entrepreneurship, started this business, but to be full-time in entrepreneurship was circumstantial. Mm. We did not jump in to say, you know what, today I'm just quitting your job and go, circumstances, where sometimes you actually look back and say, is it Providence leading me out to be on? She left earlier. It's now actually this July will be 10 years since she left employment. It's going to be 3 years for me. This. It was circumstances. You find that you are pushing this door, things close here. You turn this side. It's like you're being driven towards this dream. And even then, we are kind of people who right now, as we talk, there are things that we are planning in the planning stage of starting as well. To try, and you want to try because we've got gifts. In terms of God has given us different gifts, and also we've got this experience. We've been trained. We've worked in corporate. So that experience we learned there, we say we can start companies that do these things we are doing for others. So yeah, so I think it's something that somebody should really be. They should introspect. It should just be the excitement, the fun of entrepreneurship. It makes you look cool to be at Vida Cafe at 11 hours, drinking coffee, carrying your laptop. It must be, it's not easy. Entrepreneurship is not easy. So somebody should think it through. And there's nothing wrong if you've got a well-paying job, a stable job to start. In fact, a side hustle these days is not a luxury. I'm saying it's a necessity. Right now, we are hearing stories and reading stories elsewhere in social media, and where our friends who last month did not know will be out of a job at USAID, today they are in the streets. And some who had nothing, no hustling, nothing else apart from employment, are now in a very in a serious predicament. So we are saying, even while you are working, start. And the best way to start a business, I always say, is like the conductor in Millennium or bus stop. When they're in the station there, the driver gets in the bus. When the bus is full, the bus starts off. The conductor catches up with it when it's already in motion, right? It has already started. Let your business start moving. It's making a bit of money. It's gaining traction. Then you just go and jump on board. Don't stop. I've stopped and I'm now starting from scratch. You will see. You will be in the book of Revelation. Wow. You see beasts and things. Yeah.
Talking about now running business as a couple, I've got a quick question. Do you advise young people in relationships to do business together?
Come
in. If you're going to be professional about it, then you can go ahead. What do I mean? If your relationship is going to end into marriage, well and good. But if it's not going to end into marriage, how are you going to continue working together, will your would-be partner, will the partner be okay with a male and a female having a business together, yet they're not married? So it would be a big no and a small yes, because the pros outweigh the cons.
And what would you, as in they're in a relationship together, then they start a business.
Yes.
And then if the business and if the relationship ends, then you'll be
What happens?
married to somebody. Say, my business partner is my ex.
That's my point. To say, will
That's-
your partner or your
that's
husband then
that's
be
a
okay?
challenge. That's a challenge.
So even if you're professional about it, I think it brings, wait until you get married.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, who is the face of the businesses that you have? As a woman, you're the face of the business, you're the managing director, but also on the other side, you are the wife to somebody. How do you just navigate that? At work, you are the boss. At home, how do you just balance the two? And I ask this as you answer this one. It is common out there. We've seen that many successful women in business, corporate, those that are big names out there, they kind of fail to stay in marriage. Most of them, they struggle in the line of marriage. Why do you think that is the case?
I'll start with the first question. I actually wear a number of hats. So when we're at work, though I am the face, he's the chairman. So I still report to him. I'm the managing director and I report to the board. And he's the chairman. When we are discussing business, it's a serious meeting. I prepare for that meeting. It's a serious meeting. I'm given tasks afterwards, which I report. We send each other emails. We can be seated next to each other and we send each other emails. Please find attached. In the same house.
Yeah.
So we are very professional when it comes to our business. Then we close our laptops. The same dining table that was a boardroom, we start now eating from it. I cook. I will not say, we were in the meeting, both of us were in the meeting, so come and cook. No. I will now change. I am now a wife. I am a mother. I start cooking and it's a whole different ballgame. Then the second question, actually inspired by a number of women who have made it to the top and are still married. And most people actually don't even know their maiden names. I will not mention their names. I'm sure names are coming to your mind right now. Most people don't know their maiden names because they use their marital names, and they've made it in the corporate world. And they've made it at home. There are few who you have cited. They are there. There are those few. So I think the problem could be maybe they don't get the support they need from their partners, or maybe they don't wear the different hats. They get big-headed and the men can't handle. You are a CEO at work, you cannot be a CEO in the home. A ship can only have one captain.
Two
that
men
becomes, you can't have two men running a home. So that if you are going to be the man at home, then you're losing it.
As a man, would you, and there's this question again, is it okay as a man to have your wife make more money than you do?
Let me answer it this way. I think for a man, you need to give it your all, apply yourself, but then there are circumstances that it is not a must that I should make the most money. What do I mean? If, for example, I trained as a doctor, and then as a doctor, there's a certain financial ceiling Let's say I go into a private practice, there's a certain financial ceiling I can earn. Let's make it practical. Let's say I'm earning 50,000 as a senior doctor at UTH and everything else. And my wife is a banker, gets a job where she's getting 150 per month. I don't see any conflict there. I don't see anything that should make me become insecure. And in fact, if anything, we should be, since you're the head of the home, plan your home in such a way that the budget of the home is based on the money I earn, 50,000. We live in a house that the 50,000 can afford. My kids go to a school that the 50,000 can afford, showing that I am giving leadership there. Her money comes as a bonus. It can fly us to Dubai, it can do us those, but the home is run based on my salary. Yeah, then I'm leading.
Amazing. You talked about you having a background of insurance. She's a banker, and I think these are skills that you bring in together on the table. But then let's just talk about you being people that are running business. Obviously, it is a known fact. Your families, they know about that. But then, how do you just balance, separating the business from the family? And I ask like this because in Africa there's what now they are terming black tax. Are there moments when you would have to say no to family members? And how do you just manage to say it respectively? I don't know who's gonna pick that.
You want to take a go?
You can.
Okay. First, to begin with, you asked there's a part in your question that separates some. The business is different from the two of us. So what we mean is there's no time at which we get money from the business to give a family member. The business doesn't do that. Even if you've swallowed the fork, even if we receive an emergency, your grandmother in the village has stepped to the spoon, that the business doesn't. The money we pay, the business pays us. And when I am broke, the business might have a balance that looks attractive on the bank account. First of all, the business has got a separate bank account. Chris Mapipos has got his own separate bank account. We have separate, we are two separate entities. So I might be broke. The business might have money. I will not get a businessman. The only money that comes to me, even when it does come to me, even when I get a credit to say money from, I'm like, what is this for? Because I know that I only get money from the business at a particular time. What's this money for? So that I'm clear. So when a relative, family come with a situation that needs help and I have money, I'll gladly help. When I am broke and the business has money, there's no money. Because they are two separate entities. We don't remember when we are coming from corporate. We've worked in for institutions, some of the biggest insurance companies. I've worked for 3 of them, up to the level of being a general manager. So we were very professional. We're actually telling you, we run our business very professional. We will talk things here. I'm saying, I haven't seen an email. Send me an email because we want to document things. You just don't want tomorrow you should come and say, no, but I told you. I'm like, no. Document it. Send me an email. And also I will do. If at all, that's the way we operate, because we are coming from that environment and we bring that professionalism into our business as well. So business money is not my money. And if a family emergency comes up and it wants, even where we are hard pressed that we need to get business, we've borrowed, we even say this email borrowed from the business. We must find a point where if you're getting an allowance, we're removing to recover from what we borrowed. The business is separate. Yes, sir.
Doesn't that feel harsh when you look at it from a biblical side?
Not really, because you see, I think there's a time for everything, and there's even in the scheme of the Bible, there's order, what you'd call a gospel order. One could not, in fact, the Bible itself, in fact, that you brought in the Bible, in Old Testament, the Deuteronomies and the Leviticus would actually say that when money is set aside for tithe, it would not be removed to say, I've got a sick person in the house. I've got name. It's actually there where they're saying, I did not touch your money set aside for tithe to attend to my sick child, to attend. In short, they believed God while the tithe money was there, reserved to take to the temple, because God would come through. So we must labor and we must apply ourselves in such a way. That is not, there's order to these things, and even the family should understand that this business we are promoting the growth of, once it gets to a point, it also improves the welfare. So, but if we then bring it down, and there's no end to African needs. It will be one relative helped, the next one now said, oh, cool. This side is where they're helping. And then they'll say, they're the ones who then congregate again to say, no, they just ran down that business because they were just, what the businesses are. So for us, we are saying this business is separate from us. We are separate from it, and what it benefits us, our relations, family, children, benefit from that. The business is an entity on its own, and it must thrive. There are principles of business. There are principles that sustain business, and even from a biblical point of view, there must be order.
Amazing. How do you then now, respectively, as a woman now, the in-laws, obviously, the women folk you struggle with this because how do you respectively say no to your in-laws? How do you just juggle in a moment where you have to say no? How do you say no to your in-laws? Maybe your in-laws, yeah.
I've never had that situation because from the get-go we agreed that when communicating, he will communicate to his relatives because he knows how to deal with them. And they won't quote him. And I will communicate to my relatives. So he will tell me, this is my position. I'll find a way of communicating without making it look like it's coming from him.
Okay. Another question. How do you balance then? How do you determine how much goes to your family, how much goes to her family, without making it feel as if we always support your family? Usually there's always that one family that has more needs than the other. But then how do you just make a balance that both families are attended to?
In fact, the idea or what works for us, even in times past, I'll give an example, is to agree that, for example, both our dads are late. So we are talking about moms. There's mom at the farm and my mom in Chalala, for example. We would agree to say, if what we can manage from our means is to put them on a salary, that is what works. When God enables us to have means, we say, if I'm sending 1,000 to Chalala, we are sending 1,000 to the farm. We agree that we send a particular amount. Even if it's just, if we don't have the money, we just say, it's electricity, for example, we buy power for 500 for mom. She will know that there's 500 that comes from there. So it is not that this month, this month we give, it's standard. We say, each month we send this much to this side and this, except where there are needs. Maybe this time there's a funeral on this side of the family, we say, let's direct means this side. But otherwise, a standard. The better way is just to put those people on a salary. Then you quash this drama. It helped us in the past. It's worked. It's why up to this point. That's why when you ask some things, she was when thinking when she's asking something, we haven't experienced that because this is some of the things we haven't had to say. I think also maybe we may not have those uncles who just wake up from the bush in the evening and ride the bicycle and come to say, I've come. Situation is this way. No, we haven't had that kind of thing. But yeah, so I think for us, it's been, you agree to say, this is what will be happening towards mom, or this is what will be happening towards this. And then you stick to that as God enables you.
Decision making as a man, when you are usually in business, there are times when you have different ideas and each of you cannot just surrender there. You keep on pushing, this one keeps on pushing. But then how do you just, when you have to make those big, difficult decisions about the business, how do you then just, as a man, at home, you're the man, obviously, your voice is more pronounced. Does that cross to the business?
What I would say, maybe something to clarify is this. We have very different roles in business. Like I earlier mentioned, when you come into a business, numbers, finances, operations, for things to do. In fact, if anything, remember I told you, she's been in entrepreneurship for over 10 years. I've been in the background because I was working for other entities. It's the last 3 years that I've been now like, okay, involved in deliveries. Okay, we're taking to ShopRite, we're doing that where I am. So with all due respect, she understands the business far better than me. What do I mean? She's been hands-on. So what I would do is when we discuss the ideas, I'm a dreamer. So I'm constantly thinking the next thing I want to do is there's something like, you know what, babe, I think there's this thing we should introduce. Then she would just say, okay, the reason this won't sell is this. Right now, there's no demand for that. You check in ShopRite or you check in whatever, check with our competitor. I'm like, okay. I think it through. Sometimes, yes, being human, sometimes it may prick at your ego, like, she's always shooting my ideas down. But then when you think about it, like, it's valid because she's the one who's seen which product lines are moving and the like. And also, I'll let you know that even now, it's a transitory period because if things work out as planned, I'll be heading something else very soon. And she continues, she oversees. So she's the face, not only the face, she's the one who runs the business. I am in the background like an operating system to make sure that ZRA is not on our doors. Where are we with the health certificate? Where are we with the compliance issues? That kind of, she is. So we will discuss, but the area that is most like for which you're responsible, if it's my area, and there I'll drop the ball, then it becomes a concern. Even when we're making a proposal, I'm like, this is an area I oversee, so that this proposal I'm pushing should be considered. Then the area she's in charge of, I'll know that that's her baby. Yeah, so I think specializing helps as well. So that there's there'll be room for overlapping, but then I'll know that she knows when she says this product will not sell. She's the one in fact, the day I call the suppliers, they'll be like, and who are you? Because it's how they know. It's how they know. Many from them people, they will say, oh, must be Changu's, but she's the person, she's the face, literally. So then I'll know that I would not start arguing about suppliers. I don't even talk to them. They know her. So if it's an area which she's been assigned, then she has the last say on it because she's mastered it.
Talking about knowledge acquisition, what is the importance of, and how have you seen now the importance of appreciated knowledge acquisition in the businesses that you are running? I ask this because you see there are couples out there, obviously, that might not have had the privilege of getting that education, okay, but also other couples that might want to, maybe the wife wants to, they are married already, they want to maybe do a paper, but the man keeps on pressing her down. As a man, what is the importance of having a wife who has gone to school, at least who knows stuff?
I cannot overemphasize the importance of education. Yes, I know right now, and I'm one of the people who joke with friends to say, our parents' generation told us education was the key. We graduated, masters, named them, then we found that they changed the lock. So now our key cannot work. So, but I still tell you that education still is a game changer. Education is an equalizer. For me, actually having been born from a man who would proudly say that he would have been a villager in Chitulika Mpika, like the rest of his family, extended clan, if he had not been given the privilege of education, it changed our life up to now. And I saw it change my life. She was graduated last year with an MBA from Munza. And I would push even, she's self-driven, but I would support. She had family time. She would be going to sleep. I leave her. I'm going to sleep and I sleep. It's not something I boast about, so I sleep late sometimes. I leave her at the dining table studying. I'm waking up 04 or something, maybe going, this person is still at the dining table. I'm like, what time do you sleep? And I slept, I woke up. She is pushing. This knowledge we get, these MBAs are not for decoration. They change your mind. When I sit down and I'm talking to her about the strategy diagram we need to use in this, we need to plan our marketing plan. We need to, if I'm talking to a person who hasn't been there, like I've started, you see, but for her, this is language that is common in our home. And even our kids who are young now understand to this is the MBA language. They understand it because parents are speaking. I'm on the same wavelength with them. And even then, for me, this is something that I love. Right now in business, but I am doing my PhD as we speak in business management with Unza. So this is something that I would not, it doesn't take away anything from you. There are couples, yes, who've excelled, haven't seen a day in class, but they've excelled. That's good for them, but I'm sure even them, they'll tell you that then they have educated people running their business. They'll have the SCCAs, the CMAs, and the MBAs in their organization to run. Those donuts are not those people they talk about, the Elon Musk's, Bill Gates. They have educated engineers in their Microsofts and companies. Those are the people who get these products. Yes, education is important. You cannot just use the rule of thumb. This is where we're going to order. No, that is very important. So for me, I would encourage her. If tomorrow she says, "Baby, I also want to go for a PhD," I'll be in a corner and say, "Baby, go for it."
Wow. Yeah. Great. Well, now the other thing, obviously, that I want us to talk about. I'm enjoying this conversation, honestly speaking. On savings. Being a couple that does business, obviously, when you're out from the corporate world, there is no obviously the pensions, etc. Most people that do business, obviously, when you retire, when you're old, you might not have the pensions and the etc. But then, how have you just ensured that from your business you are able also to put in savings, also to put in financial strategies that will ensure that when you are obviously old, you might not work as hard as you are when you are still youthful? What strategies have you put in to just ensure that time will...
Yeah, let her take it.
Yeah. Okay, so when it comes to that, we've been very deliberate. Remember, he told you that I'm a banker. So
you see, it's a strategic marriage.
So we've been very deliberate. We have insurance policies for the boys for their education. Okay, we have 3 sons, by the way. We didn't mention that. So we have insurance policies for them. Then we do have a savings account where we save a said amount every month.
Unit trust.
So we save that amount. On top of that, we also have a funeral policy, which we service. So should any of us die,
even our parents,
we just need you to come and cry. Now everything is taken. No, there's no need. Just come and dress up and bury us. Everything is taken care of. So school is taken care of, and then medicals are also taken care of. Because we don't have NAPSA. But, well, maybe we could voluntary, but we don't have that. So we have our own savings pool that we put aside. It's a different account, and there's a standing order that goes there. So you just need to ensure that on the said date, the account is funded.
Also, if I may add on to, those are the immediate. But when you're in business, you need to have, like you're saying, think holistically. So what you're trying to do is create income streams for the time when you are not in a position to generate those. So we have, like we said, one area we want to, God willing, to invest more is real estate, so that we can have the various income streams, rentals. And as those savings we are pulling now in savings, when they become substantial, you put in unit trust, for example. When they reach a certain threshold, we block in government bonds, 10-year government bonds, treasury bills. So then they start giving you these coupons. This one is giving you, you're getting sales from the business, you are getting rentals, you are getting, so you are creating these pools that then can sustain you in the long term when you are not in a position to work for your money. Your money should work for you.
Great. Now, using the eye of finances as couples, what would be your advice for a young couple that is just starting out? What should be their first priority? Having children? Around just that. What should be their first priority in their early days of their marriage or early years of their marriage? What should they start with, focusing on?
Is a couple in business or just generally couple?
Just a couple, any other couple out there.
With it first.
I think the first thing they need to look at is having a home of their own. I'll tell you that if we were renting, I think it would have been more stressful for us.
Flames.
Remember, he told you when we got married the same year, we started building. If you can have a house before you get married, but if you can't, that should be your P1. Start building. And with building, don't wait until you have a lot of money. Have enough money, buy a plot. Enough money to put your foundation. Start building slowly. Whatever money you have, prioritize to that project. When you have accommodation, life is less stressful. It's easier to find money to buy relish for that day than to pay rent for that month.
Yeah.
So when your accommodation is sorted, you are less stressed. You can still have children during that period. That should not stop your childbearing. But please secure a home.
If I may add on to what she's just said, I grew up in a neighborhood, Avondale, where I saw there was a time when my father was not, in the mid-90s, there were these parastatals were being privatized and people were leaving jobs. He left employment, highly qualified, sought after, but in that phase, that small economy, he spent 3 years unemployed. And our parents' generation were not hustling. They were employees. They were waiting to get a watch at the end of the year. So that 3 years, I saw that what we went through, if we did not have shelter, we would have really seen a different side of life, which I saw with some people within the neighborhood, where when you meet them today, they'll tell you to say, no, we actually now moved in with my aunt. No, at the aunt's place, maybe their habits or whatever don't. Next time you're meeting them, say, no, I actually moved in with my uncle. Next time we've moved in, now we've separated. For example, you say we've got 3 boys. No, one son is here, the other one is there. Until somebody is in a compound, you're thinking to say, having shelter gives you a measure of dignity. I'm turning 42 this year. I last rented when I was 33 because I made it a priority. Like I said, we married in February, bought the plot before we even married, did whatever. Time we married in February, by May, we were building. And in 2 years in our marriage, we had a roof. We could say, if anything happens, we've got a home. And the home is not even a flex. It's not even something you boast about. It's like an NRC. You just need, it's not even something you can gloat about. Just need to have it. We can gloat about when you say we've got 5 flats in the future, but a home is something you must have, because without a home, your burdens become, your fight becomes an uphill battle. I can leave home today, go into town and say, guys, I left my kids with no food whatsoever. Like chances I can come back with my car full of ShopRite. But come back with rent? Who's going to give me rent? So it is better that way. Home ownership, even if you're a poor couple.
Great. Talking about, we're in the dying minutes of the conversation, but I wish we have a lot that we need to know. But then, just a word to those that are still in the corporate world, this idea of working, then you retire with your pension, start a business.
That is suicide. My advice would be, don't do that. If you are not business minded, there are many other things you can invest in.
Yes.
Invest in real estate, invest in money markets, yes. The government bonds, the treasury bills. Invest in something. And don't put all your eggs in one basket. I've seen people who invest in their children. It is good, but don't put all your investments in your children. Because I was asked a question during one presentation which got me thinking. When you invest in children, like right now where I am, I'm not able to give my mother everything she wants. We're not able to give my mother-in-law everything she wants. So what makes me think that my children will be able to give me everything I want? That is a wrong investment. I'll end up not having enough. We do want, we are willing, but the finances are...
They're not infinite, yeah.
Yes, what they said, we listen, we don't judge. The finances are listening.
Look at your plans, but we don't judge.
They're not judging you.
They're not managed.
Don't put your eggs in one basket, but invest.
Just to know, we're ending, wrapping up. You want to, even if I've got no problem with somebody working up to the time they retire, but before you retire, start to put aside start to invest. Like she said, not all of us are going to go into business. Let your money start. Let your money go into business. Let your money be in treasury bills, government bonds, unit trusts. Buy stock on the stock exchange. Put shares. Their friends, the entrepreneurs who are the biggest challenge many entrepreneurs have is access to capital. Lend them money if they are trustworthy. Here's some money I'm giving you. You give me at this rate. I'll give it in your business for a year. Then you give it. That's happened to us before. We approach friends and family. They say, I want 100,000. They say, okay, lock it in the business for 1 year. You give me back 127. Brilliant. So you let your money work for you while you work. So this is what would advise. And like the Bible gives us a principle. It's a very practical principle. They Noah built the boat before the flood. In the time of peace, prepare. Joseph was preparing every harvest during the 7 years of plenty, preparing for the 7. Don't wait for the 7 years of famine to start. It is before that you prepare. When they come, you have more and excess to give to others.
I know we are almost ending, but this is important also. This is important also. So I heard clearly that it's not a good idea to make children a retirement strategy or something. Retirement plan. Do you do mentorship programs for, especially in this area?
We do mentorship programs, mostly men, young men. There's a mentor especially running into the third year mentorship. We had our first conference in 2023, last one 2024. We mentor young men. We have a program called Ep7 Young Men's Mentorship. We are mentoring young men every 2 weeks. In fact, we invite different speakers, different people who've got experience in different the authorities in their own space. We bring them in to come and speak to young men on the different from finances, family, faith, everything holistic. It's holistic mentorship. We do mentorship.
Well, great. We'll be able to pin that in the comment section so that at least people can access information. Is there anything that you want to say that we've not discussed here? I'll give each of your time. Anything that you just want to say and we didn't really cover it here, but we just want to briefly say it.
For me, just parting words is for me, family is very something I'm very passionate about, because I come from a strong family value-based system where my parents emphasized that family was next to God is family. So my old man would actually jokingly refer to the mafia to say the mafia wouldn't treat proper one who betrays the family. That's the highest betrayal. So, but I would just caution the young men and young women out there. While marriage looks rosy, there are battles we didn't come here to. We shared about our fights. You'd even say, hey, is this the couple invited here? But no, there are aspects which you may not have access to or not see when you just look at it from outside. So the best thing is the blueprint on marriage is found in God's word. We need to see, how did God intend for this institution to exist? How do we go about it? And always seek the counsel and of those who've gone before you, your elders, your uncles and them. If they be, it's not just everybody. I mean, if they be in the right line, because some people are just old, but they may not have that counsel which might help you. So that's just. I'll just say family is important. It's the rock. It's the building unit of society. You get the home right, you get society correct. So they should take their time to know And during courtship, this is the time to study the would-be spouse. Do not spend courtship years just eating popcorn and going for picnics. Then you enter a marriage and are shocked.
Okay. Any?
My few words are a couple that prays together, stays together, work hard together, and play harder together. And I don't want to leave without saying that when you're in courtship, please do not ignore the red lights. Do not ignore them thinking that he will get better. God always warns before he punishes. Those are your warning signs. Take them seriously. If you trust God, a better man is coming your way. Yeah.
There you have it. This is Yesterday, Today, and Tomorrow podcast. Remember, with the connecting link between the world yesterday and the world tomorrow. So you've got to live your lives the best till we see you again. Bye. Thank you so much for being.
Thank you.